Hi, and welcome back. This video covers the Sprint Retrospective as our final event as part of the Scrum framework. The main objective of the Sprint Retrospective is to continuously improve how we work, which also means reducing our how uncertainty. The participants of our Sprint Retrospective are the Scrum team. In this event, we specifically do not want stakeholders present. There are a few exceptions though. The time box that we dedicate to the Sprint Retrospective is defined as 3 hours for a 4-week sprint, and again, proportionally less. Most teams that work in 2-week sprints usually dedicate around 1.5 hours to the Sprint Retrospective. As preparation for the Sprint Retrospective, we need to cover 2 things. First, what every single participant does, and that is thinking about what went well and what didn't go so well in our past sprint. If your sprint is longer, for example 3 or 4 weeks, I recommend people to take notes throughout the sprint. And maybe you as a Scrum Master can give them a board where they can put up the notes so that they don't forget about them when they enter the Sprint Retrospective itself. The second part of preparation is how you as a Scrum Master want to conduct the Sprint Retrospective, how you want to facilitate it. In a dedicated video, I will share a 5-step approach created by Esther Derby and Diana Larson on how to run Sprint Retrospectives. And of course, that 5-step approach has also implications on your preparation. Now, let's dive into the Sprint Retrospective itself. Most retrospectives consist of 3 elements. First, identify what's working well and what not. Second, deep dive into those things that are not working well. And third, identify a concrete action item, or as the Japanese say, kaizen, to do differently in your next sprint. That action item should ideally result in your team becoming better. Better in terms of how they feel, better in terms of how they work, better in terms of how they deliver value to your customers. In some cases, you have to do some follow-up work after the retrospective. This can include summarizing everything and sending it out to others, but in most cases, it is actually making sure that the thing you have decided on doing next actually gets implemented. I always recommend to Scrum Masters, make those things transparent, make those things visual. Now, what are some common challenges that happen in Sprint Retrospectives? Similar to product backlog refinement, I see a lot of teams actually underestimating the power of a retrospective and skipping it from time to time. Another common challenge that I see is that teams spend a lot of time complaining and not enough time solutionizing. And even if they create solutions, they don't follow up on those things in a disciplined way so that when they meet for the next time, the past challenges still exist, and there is very little motivation to go into analysis and identify new things to do if you haven't finished the old things before that. I hope this video gave you a great understanding of the importance of a Sprint Retrospective. In our next video, I will walk you through the 5-step approach outlined by Esther Derby and Diana Larson. See you there.